Hey, it's Winter with the Shift Spotlight, and today we're here with Eric McHugh. He can be found at shopx.co, and that's shopx.co. So, welcome to the show, Eric.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
And Merry Christmas to you, as we just talked about. It is the day after Christmas, and there is no rest for the weary on our podcast because we are just browsing right through the holidays. So thank you so much for your time around this busy time and confirming with us. We really appreciate that because we run a pretty tight ship here. So why don't we just start out with a little bit of a interesting fact about you that people may not know?
Sure. So honestly, this is pretty interesting. You may not believe me if I tell you, but I've recently gained the ability to have lucid dreams at a roughly like 60% rate. And going a step further, I've been using that to visit what I believe are past lives. So there are two that really interest me. One is a Spartan, one is an Indian, and one that seems to be like it's somewhere in Atlantis. But yeah, I've been living in dreams using that. I've been leveraging that to my advantage as well.
Wow, that is
Oh yeah.
definitely an interesting fact. So how did you said it's recent. So how did that all come about?
Yes, I've been really big into meditation for years,
Hmm.
but roughly 3 to 4 months ago, I finally took the next step and went to a full meditation retreat. So I attended a 10-day Noble Silence meditation retreat in Joshua Tree. So the
Mm.
method is Vipassana. So you essentially just scan your body over and over again, remove all trauma. So I think that cleared the way. I mean, and then all of a sudden, I've been researching, I've been reading, content's been pushed to me. So my lucid dreams have been getting more and more clear. And
Mm.
it goes into the aspect of, I think, the past, present, and future all exist within this present moment. And if you're in your higher chakras, and sorry, this is a bit woo-woo, but it is what
Yeah,
it is.
I'm okay. I'm woo woo. I don't know that a
Yeah.
lot of our listeners are, but I am. My
Yeah.
husband's definitely not.
Yeah. But if you exist in your higher chakras, you can gain access to past memories, past lifetimes. And I've been doing that. And honestly, it's been a big help in business as well. Because think about it this way. How do you feel after you have a big win? You feel great. So if you could have a lucid dream or you visit a past lifetime where you won. So I
Mm.
wake up literally feeling like a king. I get up, have a good meditation, hit the gym, do some work, hit the gym hard. And so it's a big constant stream of winning and learning for me. So it's been a cool experience.
That's very cool. So that is nothing to do with what the business. So at a high level, tell us what you do.
Cool. So I follow my genuine intellectual curiosity, and that led me to start two companies. The first is ShopX Web3 e-commerce. And
Hmm.
what that is I want you to think of a Google or Apple of Web3. Long
Hmm.
term, we're going to be a suite of products, just like an app. So a suite of products, just like the Apple App Store on Shopify or WooCommerce, for an e-commerce brand to download our app, interact within Web3, and gain different benefits depending on their business need or the product we offer. Right now, we have two products live. The first is Reserve X. That's a NFT-powered loyalty program. So
Okay.
if you're a brand, you're on Shopify or WooCommerce, you can download an app and then launch an NFT collection with e-commerce benefits. So if Nike were to launch a gold tier pass, their customers purchase it, the pass holders get specific benefits depending on what Nike wants. Like for example, exclusive merch, early access to merch, in real life events, and all that good stuff. I would say our biggest client right now is Fox's new show, Kapopolis. So if your listeners are a Rick and Morty fan, it's the same creator.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how did you get started going down that trajectory? And how long have you owned the company? You're the CEO, right?
I'm the president. So there's a CEO
President.
and there's a couple of team members. So
Hmm.
we're a team of like seven. We try to
Hmm.
outsource as much as we can just because that makes the most economic sense. Yeah, so we've been around for since 2016. An interesting fact, if you're in Web3 or cryptocurrency, we actually minted the first ENFT before NFTs were a thing, and we have the transaction hash to prove it.
Hmm. Interesting. So there's more fun facts that people may not know about you.
Yeah, there's tons.
So then, what is the goal for the company over the next 2 to 5 years? Where are you headed? What are your plans? What do you have your sights set on?
So the overall goal, the big, grand, massive goal that we've set as a company, and it's completely achievable too, is to have 80% of all NFTs be ShopX ENFTs. And
Hmm.
this is possible because a NFT is a non-fungible token, and ENFT is a ShopX first. And so that's a NFT with e-commerce utility. So we believe right now NFTs are usually about hype. There's no real purpose, no real reason for everyone to get into that. But if we offer NFTs with e-commerce benefits for the user, for the big brands, that aligns incentives properly. to help speed up Web3 mass adoption.
All right. So then how do those goals align with the overall mission of the company?
So the overall mission is to speed up Web3 mass adoption. So my personal overall goal is to live a nice, peaceful life. I don't think it makes it harder for me to do that if I view the money system as corrupt, aka stealing from me every second of every day, doing who knows what. And I
Mm-hmm.
found the solution to that, whether it be right or wrong, to be Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what originally led me down that rabbit hole. And rather than onboard my mom, my grandma, my brother one at a time throughout Christmas dinner, I've used ShopX as a way to leverage that. So for example, like we're working with Fox Studios, they're obviously a big brand, or if we're working with Nike or some other large brand, they now
Mm-hmm.
have incentive to offer their customers incentive to enter the space. So let's say Nike uses their products, they launch an NFT with a million collection NFT with one product attached to that. A million customers want this LeBron James autographed sneaker. So like, we have to buy this. That's a 0 to 1 moment for a lot of people at scale because I believe in the concept of power versus force, meaning power is we're mutually beneficial, meaning if we're in a powerful relationship, you benefit, I benefit, that's sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
But a forceful relationship is one person benefits, one person loses, and that's not sustainable because at one point the person who's losing will be like, I'm out.
Right.
So with our technology, people have incentive to enter the space, and whether they want to learn more about that, they totally can. Again, it's up to them.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. And so you have 7 employees. Where did you find your employees? How did they come about? Are they leaders or are they like, do they have direct reports underneath them? Or are you managing them? I know there's a couple questions in there, but let's talk about your people.
Yeah, so the people are fantastic. They're leaders in different industries, meaning that obviously the dev team and the business team and the marketing team, they run in different silos. Usually what we like to do is we like to do it on a project by project basis. So for example, we're a Shopify app right now. We're about to be live on WooCommerce. For your listeners, Shopify and WooCommerce are the 2 out of the 4 biggest e-commerce platforms. So
Mm-hmm.
with the WooCommerce project, we worked with our lead dev sort of acted as a project manager and worked with the project manager from a dev studio that WooCommerce recommended. So we find it's the most bang for our buck that way. In terms of team members, they come from all over the place. Like, I mean, we have some people in Europe, some people in Korea, some guy from Australia. It's really just if you believe in the mission, come in, add value how you see fit, and if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Gotcha. Okay. So then, um, when you were building this company, um, what was the hardest part about running the business and getting to that place? Like, how long have you been in business? You said since 2016.
2016, yes.
Okay, so like, what's been the hardest part of running this company?
So the biggest and I would say the biggest opportunity for us as a company is dealing with the crypto market sentiment as a whole. So for
Hmm.
example, with ShopX, we're a B2B2C company, meaning we
Hmm.
could sign all the brands in the world. Like we could sign Nike, Lululemon, Adidas, every single brand in the world. But if they can't sell the NFT solution to their product, aka offer right incentives, right onboarding materials for their customers, the project is dead in the water. And this is somewhat dependent on the overall sentiment within the cryptocurrency marketplace itself. So, for example, for your listeners, if they weren't aware, we've been in a bear market for the past 3 years. There's been
Hmm.
some bad news, like for example, Sam Bankman-Fried, he ran an exchange, he took a bunch of people's money, thus tanking the market.
Yeah.
That left a bad market taste for a lot of the brands launching NFT products. And we even had some brands like they built the pass, they added e-commerce benefits to their pass, and they're ready to go. They launched their PR release, like their news release, their social media push. They launched all of that. And
Hmm.
then from within the comments, because of the market sentiment, this one happened to be right after SBF, which is why I use it as an example. Their
Right.
cu- their customers are like, we don't want this. Is this a scam? Blah blah blah. So to work
Gotcha.
within the cryptocurrency market sentiment has been the
Mhm.
biggest challenge, but it's also a double-edged sword. I think cryptocurrency is going to be here long term. It's now a positive market sentiment, so that's going to work in our favor going forward.
So then where do you see yourself investing resources for growth over the next year or so? Like where are you headed?
Development and sales, usually those are the big two. I mean,
Hmm.
I think in terms of our case, word of mouth marketing works pretty good, but one of our products is SquadX. That's the first
Hmm.
ever crypto-based ambassador program. So as ShopX earns revenue from ReserveX, we share a portion of that revenue in Ethereum with our SquadX community for helping that ecosystem grow, thus creating like an upward spiral. So for example, ShopX signs more brands to ReserveX, more and more brands create more and more mints, ShopX earns more and more Ethereum, and then we give a portion of that to our community for helping the ecosystem grow. Thus, they create more posts, they comment on more brands' pages, creating a lot of positive energy. And then that signs more and more brands, getting them more and more ETH, signing more and more brands. So it creates somewhat of an upward spiral. So that kind of handles the marketing approach. So you can never go wrong with, you always need sales. Every company needs sales.
Yeah.
I think sales is king. And if the salesman can't sell anything, you have a problem too. So sales and dev are usually the two biggest in terms of capital spend. Those are the two biggest black holes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And we'll wrap it up with, if you had to do it all over again, speaking to your younger self or a less experienced self, what would your advice be to you now that you've been in it for close to 10 years? What would you tell yourself?
So first off, I tell myself, and this is a generic kind of middle ground answer, which I don't like, but I mean, everything that I've done in the past, whether it be a mistake, whether it be a good decision, has led me to where I'm at now. So I'm happy with that. But if I had to pick one, not to avoid your question, be careful who you take money from. And I'm talking specifically about VCs. So in the past, I've had some failed startups where the
Yeah.
concept was good, the idea is great, we're getting traction. But if you give a bunch of your company's equity to a specific VC who may not align with your vision,
Hmm.
then that may not work. Because, for example, we as a company want to do one thing, but they as a VC who own like what double-digit equity percentages, they want to do another thing, and then that just causes tension. Like for example, like, oh, if you don't hit these specific numbers, we won't introduce you to our VC network. We're like, well, those numbers don't really apply to the business, so yeah, be careful who you're taking money from. Just work with someone who's in alignment
Yeah.
with your goals.
I mean, that's a great one. And definitely when you make that, people don't realize that it's a marriage no different than a
Oh yeah.
marriage.
Okay. Right.
So and a lot of people don't date when it comes to money. They just take the money. And you
Yeah.
kind of need to date them for a while before you decide if you want to take their money.
Especially like as a new startup entrepreneur, you're just kind of excited that you get like a term sheet. I was like, oh, finally, we haven't got
Somebody
paid for a
somebody
while.
thinks I'm
Yeah,
desirable.
yeah. It's like anytime I'm like, no, that doesn't work. Just like dating.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, well, so what do you want to leave our listeners with as we get ready to sign off here the day after Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just hope every single one of your listeners has a fantastic life. I'm here to support in any way I can, so feel free to reach out. And just in terms of being your authentic self, you're number one at being you. If you try to be me, I'm better at being me. But if I try to be you, you're better at being you. So just be you, and everything works out in the end.
Oh, I like that. That's very, very sweet. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Well,
of
thank
course.
you so much for taking this time to do this. We loved having you on the show, and if there's anything we can do for you, let us know.
Likewise.